Good afternoon. I'm going to approach this assignment through the lens of cost allocation discussed in the previous module, and more specifically from the point of view of the U.S. Army and how we allocate our costs in order to achieve our mission. In fact, a major objective of the Army, as it well should be, is to ensure that they are good stewards of the taxpayer's dollar, and thus it's important to ensure that we're constantly striving to improve the accounting and the documentation resources that we utilize to effectively manage them. So a recurring principle that seems to come up, and one that I'll bring up here, but I'll try to stay away from speaking in dollar amounts or revenue, but a simple concept that kind of follows the Army and all DoD counterparts are things like ammunition and OCIE, or organizational clothing and individual equipment. Of course, all these items bear a cost, and these costs are associated with individual line numbers. So when speaking about ammunition, the cost of the basic quantity of the ammunition for the organization is allocated based on the number of personnel that are assigned, the type and quantity of the equipment utilized in the unit, as well as their operational mission. Moreover, these resources can be increased in allocation if there is, say, a change to the mission, in the event that the organization is tasked with an upcoming training rotation or an overseas deployment. Their basic ammo allocation can be added to their unit's allotted amount. This is really driven all the way from the top down, and unit budget from the dollar side of the amount is increased through operational funding, and the ammo can be procured in this manner once funds become available and ordered through Army channels. Another example, as I mentioned earlier, is the organizational clothing and equipment and individual equipment. So this cost includes all of the authorized individual clothing and equipment that is provided by the Army. Uniforms, cold weather gear, which comes in mightily handily in states such as Alaska, New York, and overseas locations such as Korea, wet weather gear, and personal protective equipment. Again, this cost is dependent and allocated to units that meet the need of the set allocation, and is dependent on a plethora of things, such as the type of the organization, the climactic zone, as mentioned earlier. Granted, we're generally expected to be prepared to conduct our mission anywhere. So organizations from a tropical climate such as Hawaii are still issued some cold weather items because they may need them in order to operate in a mountainous region such as Afghanistan or other similar location. Most of the time, though, these issues happen once the mission has been received, to ensure that they're being utilized by personnel that have already been tasked with completing the mission to just increase their effectiveness. So thank you.